President Trump revealed that he urged Israel to calm down and avoid actions that could further escalate tensions in the region. Reports suggest Trump once again pushed for restraint, but questions remain over whether his message is being fully heeded in Jerusalem. While a new ceasefire with Hezbollah has taken effect, Netanyahu has focused on highlighting Israel's military successes in Lebanon. The truce may be back in place, but continued military activity in southern Lebanon is raising fresh doubts about its durability. President Donald Trump revealed that he personally urged Israel to agree to a new ceasefire arrangement with Hezbollah. Trump said he told Israeli leaders to calm down and use your head as tensions threaten to spiral further. In an interview with NBC News, Trump confirmed that he pushed for de-escalation and a reduction in hostilities with Hezbollah. However, the U.S. president declined to clarify whether he delivered that message directly to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Reports indicate that Israel agreed to a renewed ceasefire with Hezbollah after several days of intense escalation. Despite the agreement, Prime Minister Netanyahu has not publicly commented on or celebrated the new truce. Instead, the Israeli leader highlighted ongoing IDF operations across southern Lebanon. Netanyahu said Israeli forces struck 150 targets and eliminated dozens of Hezbollah operatives during the campaign. The Prime Minister stressed that the operations were carried out exactly as he had instructed. Meanwhile, reports claim Israel intensified its offensive around the strategically important Ali al-Taher Hills. Heavy artillery, Apache helicopters and white phosphorus munitions were reportedly used during the fighting. The area overlooks Nabatea and is believed to contain a major Hezbollah underground command complex. Military observers describe the site as one of Hezbollah's most significant tunnel strongholds in southern Lebanon. Reports also claim Israeli armored forces are once again attempting to advance toward Nabatea. The new ceasefire comes as Washington works to protect its broader diplomatic efforts with Iran and prevent another regional crisis. Officials fear the continued fighting in Lebanon could undermine those negotiations and reignite tensions across the Middle East. For now, the ceasefire remains in place on paper, but developments on the ground are telling a very different story. On June 20th, fresh visuals showed smoke rising over southern Lebanon despite reports that a ceasefire had been restored. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is reportedly planning a trip to the Middle East next week. Rubio is expected to visit Kuwait, the UAE, and Bahrain, according to Axios, citing two sources. The report does not mention a possible stop in Israel as part of Rubio's regional visit. Rubio appears to have skipped top U.S. ally Israel after Washington reportedly signed memorandum of understanding with Iran. What began as a debate over the Iran Memorandum of Understanding is now exposing unusually public tensions between the United States and Israel, with the dispute spilling into open political rhetoric rather than remaining behind closed diplomatic doors. Vice President J.D. Vance's comments about Israel touched off a sharp rebuttal from one of the country's most outspoken ministers, turning a policy disagreement into a highly personal and very visible clash. Vance said that Israel cannot just kill its way out of its security problems, a blunt formulation that challenged the logic of purely military solutions and implicitly criticized advocates of an uncompromising hard power approach. He specifically named Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich as prominent critics of the U.S.-Iran memorandum, singling out two of Israel's most hardline figures as emblematic of resistance to the emerging peace framework. The escalating war of words was detailed in a June 18 report by the Times of Israel, which described how the argument had intensified and how it was being framed in both American and Israeli political discourse. In a rare direct appeal, Ben-Gvir turned to X and wrote in English, addressing U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance by name in an attempt to speak over traditional diplomatic channels and rally public opinion. Ben-Gvir wrote, "This is the proposal, to deal with the Nazis of the 21st century, invoking a stark historical analogy to argue for a much more aggressive approach toward Iran and its proxies." His remarks deliberately evoked Second World War comparisons, dramatically escalating the rhetoric and underscoring just how charged and emotional the dispute over the Iran deal has become. Vance, for his part, pressed Israel to spell out exactly what its proposal would be to ensure long-term security, effectively challenging hardliners to move beyond slogans and articulate a realistic alternative strategy. The exchange has highlighted a widening gap between the United States' more pragmatic, diplomacy plus deterrence posture and Israel's hardline view that only relentless pressure and force can guarantee safety. All of this debate is unfolding as regional actors and Washington move into the 60-day negotiation window created by the memorandum, a period in which words on both sides could shape or strain the prospects for a final agreement. Notably, amid this war of words and shifting diplomacy, the United States is reportedly beginning to scale back part of its military presence in Israel, signaling a subtle but significant adjustment in how closely U.S. forces are embedded on the ground. Washington is set to relocate roughly 20% of its refueling and cargo aircraft currently stationed at Israel's Ben Gurion Airport, a move that reduces the visible U.S. footprint while still leaving substantial capability in place. This redeployment comes just as the U.S.-backed deal to end the Iran war appears to be taking shape, suggesting that American planners are recalibrating posture in anticipation of a new phase in regional security dynamics. Around 72 U.S. military aircraft are presently deployed at Israel's main international airport, forming a sizable logistical and support hub that has underpinned recent operations. Israel's Channel 12 has reported that nearly one-fifth of this U.S. aircraft fleet will be redeployed elsewhere, reinforcing the impression that Washington is easing back from its peak wartime configuration in the country.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.